Students, good evening to everyone. This is Bujji Babu, working as a chemistry lecturer in Vignan Cooperative Junior College, Vadlamudi. Okay, students, in the previous video, I gave information about the surface chemistry from intermediate secondary chapter. Okay, students, basing on the previous video, we are continued another topic regarding to the surface chemistry. In the previous video, I gave total information about the adsorption process, desorption process, and process of sorption, and the process of absorption. And finally, I concluded how can we distinguish between the adsorption and absorption. I gave the total information about the concept of the adsorption. Okay, students, in this video, I am going to explain about a particular phenomenon that is related to the adsorption process. Once we recall what we learned in previous session, what is adsorption? Can you remember it? Can you recall once again what is adsorption and what is absorption? Students, it is clear. Adsorption is a surface phenomenon. Absorption is a bulk phenomenon. Desorption is the reverse of adsorption. And absorption is a bulk phenomenon. The process of sorption is in a given particular chemical reaction, both adsorption and absorption takes place simultaneously. This is known as sorption process. So you can see many of the live examples which are surrounded by us by the distribution of the adsorption and absorption. So look at the contents present in this video are, first one, adsorption mechanism. Adsorption mechanism. Students, we know that adsorption is a surface phenomenon. Adsorption is a surface phenomenon. For example, the molecules of a substance which are deposited on the surface of the another substance, that is known as adsorption. Here, in a particular view of the adsorption mechanism, we clearly calculated the either adsorption process is either it is a exothermic process or endothermic process. What are the factors affecting in the adsorption phenomenon? This all we studied in the adsorption mechanism. And second one, types of adsorption, and second one, types of adsorption. Students, basing on the forces between the adsorbate and adsorbent, adsorption mainly classified into two categories, that are physical adsorption and chemical adsorption. That is the classification of the types of adsorption. And third one, adsorption isotherms. What are adsorption isotherms? Students, adsorption isotherms are the graphical representation which gives a relation between the extent of adsorption versus pressure at a constant temperature is known as adsorption isotherms. For example, the best adsorption isotherm is a Freundlich adsorption isotherm, which gives a relation between the extent of adsorption and pressure at constant temperature. And finally, applications of adsorption. So many of the applications, live examples, daily life, we are seeing so many examples regarding this adsorption process. Okay, students, these are the main contents including in this video. Adsorption mechanism. How can we calculate the adsorption mechanism? Students, I already told about that. If the molecules of any substance, either it is a solid or a liquid or a gas, will be deposited on the surface of the solid or liquid, then what is the phenomenon regarding here? When the molecules of the solid or liquid or gas will be deposited on the surface of the another substance like a solid or liquid. Okay, students, the adsorption, we know that adsorption is a surface phenomenon. Mainly, the molecules of a substance can easily deposited on the surface of the substances. Okay, not into the bulk of the substances. Here, we clearly noticed that why the molecules are deposited on the surface of the given substance means the arrangement of molecules on the surface of the substance is having some forces that are unbalanced forces or residual forces. Okay, into the interior or bulk part of the substance, the molecules are arranged like uniformly in all directions, but in case of surface, the arrangement of molecules takes place irregularity. Therefore, some residual forces or unbalanced forces are affected between the molecules present on the surface. Okay, students, when the absorption process takes place, then automatically some surface energy is released, that is known as delta H, that is known as enthalpy of energy. Due to the absorption process, some amount of the energy is released, therefore we can conclude that delta H is equal to negative value, that is, therefore absorption is a surface phenomenon. Absorption is a surface phenomenon, and it is very clear absorption is an exothermic process. Absorption is an exothermic process. Okay, students, next another important thing is, if for example adsorbent is gas, adsorbent is a solid, for example like we can take nickel metal, it is a nickel metal. For example, we are passing some oxygen gas molecules on the surface of the nickel metal. So in this example, oxygen is adsorbate and nickel metal is adsorbent. When oxygen molecules are deposited or concentrated on the surface of the nickel metal, here when the gas molecules are located on the surface of the nickel metal, the entropy value of the gas molecules is restricted. Therefore, so we know that the entropy calculated the randomness of the molecules. Here, if the adsorbent is a gas, when gas molecules located or deposited on the surface of the adsorbent, their free random movement is restricted, therefore delta S value also negative value. Okay, students, according to the thermodynamic functions from first year intermediate chapter, if a process is spontaneous, its delta G value must be negative value. Its delta G values must be negative value. That is change in Gibbs energy. Change in Gibbs energy value must be negative value. Then that we concluded that if the system is in spontaneous process. So from the formula of change in Gibbs energy, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Delta G is equal to delta H minus delta T delta S. Okay, if the process is said to be spontaneous process, if the delta G value is compulsorily negative value. So what are the factors? What are the values of delta H value and delta S value? If the delta G value can be negative value, so the condition number 1 is, if the delta H value is more negative value, if delta H value is more negative value, then automatically delta G value is negative value. So in case of another condition is, if delta H value is very less negative value, if delta H value is very less negative value, that is equal to delta H is equal to T delta S. Delta H is equal to T delta S. That means delta G is equal to 0, change in the Gibbs energy is equal to 0 at this particular moment, that is known as equilibrium state is established. When the equilibrium state is established, both adsorption and desorption takes place simultaneously. I already told about adsorption, desorption. So desorption is a reverse process of adsorption. So students, that means when the delta G value is equal to 0, equilibrium state is established, then automatically, for example in this example, if the gas molecules are adsorbed on the surface of the metal, then automatically how much amount of gas molecules are adsorbed easily escapes out. Okay, this is about the adsorption mechanism. One, types of adsorption. Still now we learned about adsorption mechanism. Next one, types of adsorption. So depending upon the nature of forces existing between adsorbate and adsorbent molecules, the adsorption can be classified into two categories. We know that the process of adsorption and what is adsorbate and what is adsorbent. All these the concept we can clearly see in so many examples. So okay, so what are adsorbate and adsorbent we know very well. Okay students, the forces existing between the both adsorbate and adsorbent, okay, basing on the forces existing between the adsorbate and adsorbent, adsorption can be classified into two categories. Okay students, what are named though? First one, physical adsorption, physical adsorption. Another name for physical adsorption is physisorption. Another name for physical adsorption is physisorption. And second classification is chemical adsorption. And second classification is chemical adsorption. Another name for chemical adsorption is chemisorption. Another name for chemical adsorption is chemisorption. Okay, students, based on the forces existing between the both the adsorbate and adsorbent, adsorption is classified into mainly two categories. What are they? First one, physical adsorption, that is known as physisorption. Second one, chemical adsorption, that is known as chemisorption. Okay, come to the point of the physical adsorption. What is physical adsorption, students? If the weak van der Waals forces are affected between the adsorbate and adsorbent, then physical adsorption is affected. If strong chemical forces are affected between the adsorbate and adsorbent, chemical adsorption is affected. Okay, so this is the main classification of the regarding about the adsorption. So the point of the physical adsorption. So what are the factors including the physical adsorption? What are the values of physical adsorption? We have clearly seen here, students. So physical adsorption is affected between the due to the weak van der Waals forces, due to the weak van der Waals forces presented between adsorbate and adsorbent. Okay, students, due to the weak van der Waals forces are presented between the adsorbate and adsorbent, that is known as physical adsorption. Okay, physical adsorption is not specific in nature. Another point is physical adsorption is not specific in nature. It is not specific in nature. Another point is physical adsorption is reversible process. It is a reversible process. And next point is the enthalpy of physical adsorption is up to 20 to 40 kilojoules per mole. And next one, low temperature is favorable. Low temperature is favorable for physical adsorption. Low temperature is very favorable for physical adsorption. Physical adsorption can be depending upon the nature of the adsorbate. It is depending upon the nature of adsorbate, like gas. If you take gas as adsorbate, then easily liquefied gases can easily adsorb. That's why physical adsorption depending upon the nature of the adsorbate, like gas, easily liquefiable gases are adsorbed. Easily liquefied gases are adsorbed easily. So another important point is low temperature is favorable. And next one, nature of the adsorbent. If the adsorbent is a gas, can easily liquefiable gases are adsorbed easily. So in case of physical adsorption, no need of activation energy. No need of activation energy. So why is there no need of activation energy in case of physical adsorption? Both adsorbate and adsorbent weak van der Waals forces are affected. Due to that reason, here there is no need of activation energy is required due to the duration of the physical adsorption. Okay, students, finally, another important point in case of physical adsorption is it is a multi-layered process. It is a multi-layered process. So it is a multi-layered process. So this process takes place not only unilayer, it takes place like a multi-layer. Okay, students, these are the main important points regarding to the physical adsorption. Once again, recapitulation. What is physical adsorption? Weak van der Waals forces takes place between the adsorbate and adsorbent. It is not specific in nature. It is a reversible process. Enthalpy of adsorption is 20 to 40 kilojoules mole inverse. Low temperature is favorable for in case of physical adsorption. And next one, it also depending upon nature of adsorbate, like gas. Therefore, basing on the nature of the gas, easily liquefied gases are adsorbed easily. And finally, no need of activation energy takes place in case of physical adsorption. And another important thing is physical adsorption is a multi-layered process. So There are very very important points regarding to the physical adsorption. The classification of the adsorption, that is the chemical adsorption. So still now we learned about physical adsorption and second one chemical adsorption. Students, what is meant by chemical adsorption? Chemical adsorption means between the adsorbate and adsorbent a strong chemical forces affected between the adsorbate and adsorbent, that is known as chemical adsorption. Another important point is chemical adsorption is highly specific in nature. Chemical adsorption is highly specific in nature. Chemical adsorption is highly specific in nature. Our next point is chemical adsorption is a irreversible process. Chemical adsorption is a irreversible process. So irreversible process means both forward reaction and backward reaction does not take place. In case of adsorption, both adsorption and desorption takes place, that is known as a reversible process. That is true in case of physical adsorption, but in case of chemical adsorption it is a irreversible process. Ante both adsorption and desorption does not take place simultaneously. And next, another important thing regarding to the chemical adsorption, students, chemical adsorption is it is more favorable at a high temperature. High temperature is favorable in case of chemical adsorption. If you are giving the rise more temperature, automatically chemical adsorption increases. So high temperature is favorable for in case of chemical adsorption. If temperature increases, automatically chemical adsorption also increases. Next, another important thing is enthalpy of adsorption in case of chemical adsorption is it approximately 80 to 240 kilojoules per mole. 80 to 240 kilojoules per mole. It is more than the physical adsorption. In case of physical adsorption, the enthalpy value is approximately 20 to 40. In case of chemical adsorption, it is a value of 80 to 240 kilojoules per mole. Here, in case of chemical adsorption, there is sometimes activation energy is needed. Sometimes activation energy is needed. It is not true for all situations like pressure and temperature. Activation energy is needed for few conditions and a few statements regarding to the chemical adsorption. And finally, like physical adsorption, how the adsorption depending upon the nature of the gas, here also in case of chemical adsorption, the adsorption process can also depend on nature of gas, if gas is a adsorbate. And next thing is chemical adsorption is a unilayered process. Chemical adsorption is a unilayered process. Okay students, these are all the main important points about the chemical adsorption. Once again recapitulation, what are the main important things related to the chemical adsorption and a comparison with the physical adsorption points and chemical adsorption points. Just take a look into the differences between the physical adsorption and chemical adsorption. The first thing is physical absorption due to the weak van der Waals forces, chemical absorption due to the strong chemical forces. And next thing is physical absorption is not specific in nature, chemical absorption is highly specific in nature, and physical absorption is reversible in nature, chemical absorption is irreversible in nature. In case of physical absorption, low temperature is favorable. If the temperature increases, automatically physical absorption decreases. In case of chemical absorption, high temperature is favorable. If temperature increases, automatically adsorption also increases. So the enthalpy value of physical adsorption is approximately 20 to 40 kilojoules mole inverse. In case of chemical adsorption, the value is 80 to 240 kilojoules mole inverse. Our next important point is there is some need of activation energy in case of physical adsorption. There is no need of activation energy in case of physical adsorption. In case of chemical adsorption, sometimes activation energy is needed. The both common thing is in case of physical adsorption and chemical adsorption is the nature of the adsorption depending upon the nature of the adsorbate like gas. And finally, physical adsorption is a multi-layered process and chemical absorption is a unilayered process. Okay students, this is about the what is adsorption and the classification of the adsorption. There are main two types of classification. and first one physical adsorption and second one chemical adsorption. So next one about adsorption isotherms. Students, still now we discussed about what is adsorption and the classification of adsorption, the main classification regarding about the adsorption, physical adsorption and chemical adsorption. Next one, adsorption isotherms. So these are all graphical representation which gives the relation between the extent of adsorption related to the term x by m. This is extent of adsorption x by m versus pressure, that are known as adsorption isotherms. So simply adsorption isotherms are graphical representations which are drawn between the extent of adsorption x by m versus pressure is known as the adsorption isotherms. Okay students, in x by m, what is meant by x and what is meant by m? X means it is the mass of adsorbate. X means it is the mass of adsorbate. And second one, m is it is the mass of adsorbent. M is the mass of adsorbent and P is the pressure. Okay, this type of graphical representation is known as the adsorption isotherms. So simply it is adsorption isotherms. We can conclude it, we can define very simply. Adsorption isotherm is in a mathematical expression which deals the relation between the extent of adsorption x by m versus pressure. The term x by m we called as extent of adsorption. That means if the mass of the adsorbate, in adsorption process we are passing the molecules of a substance on the surface of the another substance. Okay, so that is known as the adsorbent. So m related to the mass of the adsorbent, x related to the mass of the adsorbate. When the molecules of a substance is adsorbed on the surface of the another substance, how much amount of molecules are adsorbed on the surface of the another substance, this is known as the extent of adsorption. So graphical representation we can draw like this. We can draw like this. On x-axis we take pressure and y-axis we take extent of adsorption x by m value. Extent of adsorption like x by m value. Here different temperatures, different pressure values like 193 Kelvin temperature, 244 Kelvin temperature and 273 Kelvin temperature. So this type of graphical representation is known as adsorption. So simply it is a mathematical expression which is drawn between the extent of adsorption versus pressure at constant temperature. At constant temperature, the graph drawn between the x by m versus pressure is known as the adsorption isotherms. So with increasing pressure value, the extent of x by m value also increases. So that is the main important thing. By look at this graph, in this graph we can draw some x by m values at pressure. If the pressure value increases, automatically x by m value also increases. So therefore students, with increasing of pressure, the extent of adsorption also increases. So finally, how can we conclude that adsorption isotherms? Adsorption isotherms are graphical representation which gives the information between the extent of adsorption x by m versus pressure at constant temperature. This is known about the adsorption isotherm. Okay students, look at the Freundlich adsorption isotherm. So we know that the adsorption isotherm gives the information between the extent of adsorption x by m versus pressure. So the scientist Freundlich is a scientist name. He gave a relation between the adsorption isotherm, that is known as Freundlich adsorption isotherm. So he gave the equation like x by m is equal to k into p power 1 by n if n greater than 1. This is the number equation 1. This is known as Freundlich adsorption isotherm. So Freundlich also gave a relation between the extent of adsorption x by m versus pressure at constant temperature in the equation form. X by m is equal to k into p power 1 by n. Okay students, I already told about that. What is x and what is m and what is p? X is the mass of the adsorbate and m is the mass of the adsorbent. Okay, one second I will write here. X is equal to mass of adsorbate and m is equal to mass of adsorbent and p is equal to pressure and P is equal to pressure, and come to the K and N values are constants. K and N are constants. K and N are constants. Okay students, we already told about that. If the extent of adsorption versus pressure, like graphical representation, the pressure value increases automatically, extent of adsorption also increases. Like this manner I already drawn in the previous. So for example, on x-axis we took the pressure, and y-axis x by m value, different pressure values, extent of adsorption like this, like 193K, 244K and 273 Kelvin temperature. From this graph we can know that the extent of adsorption increases with increasing of pressure. Okay, this is about the Freundlich adsorption. He gave the equation and we know about the terms. And next one, some of the conclusions are given by the Freundlich. We know that what are the conclusions or predictions given by the Freundlich. Freundlich gives about the values of, if Freundlich conformly said that if the pressure increases, automatically extent of adsorption increases. The extent of adsorption increases will be stopped at a particular point, that is known as maximum point. That means extent of adsorption reaches at a maximum value, that is known as the saturation pressure or equilibrium pressure. That is known as equilibrium pressure. At that equilibrium pressure, the extent of adsorption reaches maximum value. That point is known as equilibrium pressure. Then Freundlich also gave a relation between the at low temperature, at low pressure, at a lower pressure, if 1 by n value is equal to 1, at a lower pressure 1 by n value is equal to 1, and the graph changes to straight line manner and sloping. At lower pressure, if 1 by n value is equal to 1, therefore x by m directly proportional to p power 1, that is equal to x by m is equal to k into p power 1. And another important point is, at a high pressure, at a higher pressure, if 1 by n value is equal to 0, at 1 by n value is equal to 0, at if 1 by n value is equal to 0, automatically the extent of adsorption independent of the pressure value, therefore x by m directly proportional to p power 0, that is equal to x by m is equal to k into p power 0. This is the graph representation at high pressure. And finally, at a moderate pressure, at a moderate pressure, if 1 by n value lies between the 0 to 1, therefore x by m is equal to k into p power 1 by n. So these are all the conditions given by the Freundlich. He concluded that first he gave the relation between the extent of adsorption and pressure, and finally he said that about the graphical representation at a lower pressure, at a higher pressure and a moderate pressure, but Freundlich adsorption is completely failed at high pressure. At high pressure, 1 by n value comes to 0, automatically extent of adsorption complete independent of the pressure. That's why Freundlich adsorption fails. Freundlich adsorption fails. Okay students, this is a main important formula regarding the Freundlich adsorption. X by m is equal to k into p power 1 by n. Okay, after the knowing the value of Freundlich adsorption and finally validity of adsorption isotherm and calculation of constant k and n value. How can we calculate or check the validity of Freundlich adsorption isotherm? We know that the equation of the Freundlich adsorption, x by m is equal to k into p power 1. Taking natural logarithm on both sides, this gives rise to log x by m is equal to log k plus 1 by n log p. Okay students, here also we draw the graph between the log x by m versus log p. Here we got a straight line. So in that equation, slope is equal to 1 by n and intercept is equal to and intercept is equal to log k. So this is a tangent assigned here. Okay, student, to check the validity of Freundlich adsorption isotherm, we take the logarithm on both sides of the Freundlich equation and draw the values, draw the graph by using these values log x by m and log p. Finally, we get the straight line if the Freundlich adsorption is satisfied, otherwise it is failed. To check the Freundlich adsorption isotherm, we can draw the graph between the log x by m value and log p value. Basing on these two values, if the graph is a straight line, Freundlich adsorption theory is satisfied, otherwise it is failed. So this is about the checking of the validity of Freundlich adsorption. By using log x by m and log p value also, we can calculate constant values of n value and k value. Okay, students, finally applications of adsorption. What are the applications of adsorption in our regular life? We have to see here. First one, separation of inert gases. By using adsorption process, we can easily separate the inert gases. You know that what are inert gases? Inert gases are belongs to 18th group elements that are 0 group elements are noble gases that are helium, neon, argon, krypton and xenon. So look at this image. In that image, we take the flask that is known as the Dewar flask. We are passing the mixture of noble gases into the Dewar flask. The gases are isolated when passing into the flask. So in that flask, they were arranged a powdered charcoal. When the gases are passing on the charcoal, these gas molecules are adsorbed on the charcoal. Then these gases are easily separated by the separation of the noble gases. Okay, students, in the Dewar flask, by the separation of inert gases, basing on the principle, the adsorption of the noble gases on the charcoal at different temperatures, different atomic weight gases are adsorbed. Therefore, finally, the mixture of noble gases are isolated and separated. So, another example for a gas adsorption is gas mass. Students, look at this image. In that image, a coal miner worker having some gas mass. In coal mines, many of the workers dig the mines when some of the poisonous gases are escaped out. If you are shallow or breathing the poisonous gases, the person leads to death. So that's why the workers or miners which are digging in the mines, then automatically to avoid the breathing of the poisonous gases, when we have the mass, in that mass the activated charcoal is presented. The activated charcoal is adsorbed the poisonous gases which are comes out from the digged mines. Therefore, the person is safe. Another application is fourth fluoridation process. Students, this is a very important point for the extraction of the metals. By the fourth fluoridation process, we can extract the sulfide ores. To the separation of extraction of sulfide ores, we are take this. Look at this image. In that image, we take the sulfur ores and adding some water to make a suspension. After adding pine oil and frothing agents and froth stabilizers are added. So, okay, that is another way. Here, the important thing is the impurities which are presenting along with the ore get adsorbed on the some adsorbent which are using in the fourth fluoridation process. Okay, students, in fourth fluoridation process also the adsorption concept takes place. The impurities which are presenting along with ore, the total impurities are get adsorbed on the pine oil or olive oil. Another application is the deionization of water. Okay, students, look at this image. In that image, we are passing some ionized water passing through the tankers which are having cationic resins and anionic resins. When ionized water passing through the cationic resins and anionic resins, the ions which are present in the water get adsorbed on the surface of cationic resin and anionic resin. Therefore, finally, the water changes into deionized water. That means without ions. This is another application in our daily life in curing diseases. So the human being faces so many diseases in regular life nowadays. Okay, by curing of diseases, so we take so many medicines in the form of drugs. Okay, look at this image. There are so many tablets are there. In curing diseases, we are taking some tablets. These tablets are to kill by using these are used for the killing or prevent the growth of microorganisms which are present in our body. Okay, when we take the drug into our body, the drug starts its action and kill the germs. The total germs are adsorbed on these species. That's why it is a best another live example for the adsorption process. Another application is controlling of humidity. So in the atmosphere, we can controlling the humidity. Okay, the air passing through the some gels like dry silica gel. When moist air passing through the dry silica gel, the water droplets are moist air which is presenting in the air that is totally adsorbed on the surface of the dry silica gel. Then finally, we can lower the humidity in the atmosphere. This is the best example for the adsorption. Another last example is chromatographic analysis. In chromatographic analysis, adsorption process can be employed by using chromatographic techniques. Basing on the adsorption process, so many analytical reactions and industrial reactions are employed basing on the adsorption process. Okay, students, all these are all best live examples of applications of adsorption. Okay, students, in this video, just I recall what we learned today class. Okay, just I recall and recapitulation. Okay, students, in this video, I gave the total information about adsorption mechanism. Adsorption mechanism is a based on the adsorption concept. Adsorption is a exothermic process. So delta G value is a negative value, delta H value negative, T delta S negative value. Finally, we concluded that adsorption is an exothermic process. And next one, classification of adsorption, mainly physical classification and chemical classification. Okay, the characteristic points regarding to the physical adsorption to chemical adsorption. And next thing is adsorption isotherms, which gives the relation between the extent of adsorption versus pressure. In that point, we studied about that the Freundlich adsorption isotherm x by m is equal to k into p power 1 by n. Finally, we studied about that, we discussed about that the applications of adsorption. Okay, students, thank you to all.